This thing is super tiny. Oh, hello. White balance. Oh, hello.
USB-C.
That microphone quality on this speaker is terrible. Move out of the way, Elgato. Microsoft is coming in hot, wanting to be your one-stop shop for streaming products and work from home accessories. They've got webcams, headsets, microphones, speakers. They've actually got multiple headsets. We're checking out 3 pieces today because that's all I could afford from Amazon and they did not want to send me review units. So we've got the Microsoft Modern Webcam, the Modern USB headset, and the Modern USB-C speaker, which also acts as a microphone. It's like a personal at-home conference mic, which is pretty cool. I don't know if they're gonna be good or not. We're gonna check them out in today's video. Again, there was a wireless headset. I only got so much budget for these videos. We're gonna tear in, test them out, and see if it's worth going with Microsoft's options for your video calling or your live streams. I'm EposVox, the stream professor, and I have covered just about every webcam, capture card, microphone on the market, and if not, they're probably in the studio here waiting to be reviewed. And Microsoft has just recently refreshed their streaming work from home product line, a little too late if you ask me, but they've not really released a new webcam in quite a while. The last one was the LifeCam series, which was a crowd favorite, if not super limiting, but they were affordable and doable. And I want to see if this modern webcam is modern. If you want to stay up to date on all the information and reviews to get the most out of your tech and build better teaching conferences or live streams or what have you, hit the subscribe and notification buttons so that you don't miss a video. Starting with the webcam here, since this one was already opened when it arrived to me, we have the Microsoft USB webcam. We've got some paperwork. The USB cable is not detachable, so that's not very modern of it. It does have this really nice little privacy cover. It's like magnetized, so it just snaps in and out of place. This thing is super tiny, and you can already tell right away because of the small sensor and no additional sensors beside it. This is not Windows Hello compatible, which is really disappointing to see. We only have very few Windows Hello compatible webcams. I don't know why it's getting neglected so much, even by Microsoft itself, but hey, it's got a typical monitor mount and then a 1/4 thread on the bottom to attach to various accessories. And I'd say like a 4-foot USB cable. I do wish this was detachable. I see there being little excuse for that, but whatever. Does look like there is a mono microphone aboard, so I guess we'll test that as well. That's really all you get in the box. You get some paperwork, but that's about it. So this webcam has 3 supported modes: 640 by 360, which is widescreen, 1280 by 720, and then 1920 by 1080. It only goes up to 30 FPS at any of these modes. However, at the 360p mode, you do get YU/Y2 chroma subsampling, which is pretty nice. And then 720p and 1080p will be MJPEG as expected. So with the default settings here, it's trying to compensate for this giant light. I'm still a little ghostly here, but it's actually doing a decent job of juggling the exposure without completely getting rid of the background, at least what I can see while I have the light blinding me on my face here. But of course, we do want to go into some manual settings real quick. You can hear the microphone from the webcam as well. If you're interested, it's probably not good. We're going to go in here to manual exposure. Oh. Alright, so you don't get manual gain control, but you do get manual exposure, and this is what I look like. I don't think the white balance is great. I still look paper white, even though it's set to the right color temperature. But exposure-wise, it looks alright. Sharpness doesn't look amazing, but it's presentable. Alright, it just auto-installed a Microsoft Accessory Center. Let's launch that. Welcome to the Microsoft Accessory Center. No, I do not want to send you optional data. All right, so we get, this is interesting. Oh, hello. Okay, so we get a full settings control suite here. This is neat. Microsoft, good job. Talk about modern. You actually give us modern settings. So we get the HDR, which is not Rec 2020 HDR like you'd show on a TV. This is just kind of like your phone does, where it has multiple exposures being taken at once to get a more even exposure across your frame, which is why some of these are only limited to 30 FPS. We also get a retouch to make the picture brighter and smoother. We'll go ahead and kick that on, and then we get control over brightness and contrast. I feel like that did anything. Turn up contrast a little bit. So the video preview lags quite a bit when you're adjusting the dials, but then we can go from there. It's really hard to see this. White balance. Oh, hello. Okay, I don't like this. They're going for like names of lights instead of just temperatures. And I realize numbers may be scary to people, but like, the heck is Ultra Lume 30 and 40? Horizon Light. Like, I wouldn't know what to select here. I'm on tungsten. There's no tungsten. I'm just gonna leave it on auto. We have auto exposure, which I can crank back up, but of course I'm too bright, so I'll turn that back off. And now I'm stuck where it was. Yeah, it just made the manual exposure wider than or brighter than it was. That's weird. This is at -9. And then you have flicker reduction as well for 50 or 60 hertz. Now, I don't know if this persists past reboot. I guess we'll see. So I'm gonna close this. I'm just gonna restart our laptop here. See if the settings save. All right, annoyingly enough, after rebooting, the rest of the settings seem to be how I set them at least, because retouch is checked and I think the sliders are where I set them, but auto exposure got re-enabled, which is not what you want. Whatever. Moving on to the USB headset here. Now, again, they do have a wireless option available, but the microphone quality is always going to be lower on an otherwise spec for spec match wireless versus wired headset due to the fact that audio has to be compressed so much to fit within the wireless spec, and they always sacrifice microphone quality to make the headphone quality better. That's all you get in that packaging. So again, not a detachable cable. That is disappointing to see. It is a super basic like phone call style headset. Nice little sleek design microphone here, padded top bar, but super thin. No suspension style here. This is maybe not for the bigger headed among you because this is maxed out and it just barely reaches my ears. So that's the thing. Looking at maybe a 6-foot USB cable, and then it has this little controller puck on board, in the cable rather. That has microphone mute button, a Microsoft Teams specific button. I don't know if that's to launch that or whatever, because there's also a call button, which you would assume would be to answer, and then a volume dial. Super basic, but kind of clean. You've got the nice little Windows logo on it here, so not too shabby. Let's try out our headset, shall we? Oh, is that a loop back? Ooh, I think. Hello? Hello? Yeah, we got loop back. Testing, whoa, that's clipping. Testing, 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 test, test, test. This is a microphone test using the Microsoft Modern USB microphone, as I am completely overexposed here. Let me turn off auto exposure. This is a microphone test using the Microsoft Modern USB headset. I might be clipping, I don't know. So this sounds like a super compressed, thin USB headset microphone, but it sounds like you would sound like on the phone, so it works. I wouldn't use it for streaming necessarily. For teaching or video conferencing or just voice chatting, probably completely fine. The size and the way that it's out of the way means you're not really gonna be breathing into it, which is pretty cool. Let's see what these buttons do. If I press this one, that mutes the microphone. Press that back. What if I press call? Nothing happened. What if I press, oh, it's lit up though. Press the Microsoft Teams button, nothing happens either. So that may mean something happens when you get called. The volume rocker controls the Windows volume, about as expected. Lastly, we have the modern USB speaker, which has a microphone built in. Like I said before, this is effectively like a big desk conference cam, or microphone rather, like you'd have in a conference room, but for your home setup, which might be a little bit more comfortable for some people, might be a better option, especially if you're doing meeting groups of people. And it even comes in this nice little sleek travel case, so you can take it with you. And you get the microphone itself. Ooh, the cable just wraps out of that bottom. That is something else. Does the bottom come off? No, so it just wraps up underneath the rubber, which is pretty sleek. This is the best designed whatever out of all the products we've had so far. This does terminate in a USB-C cable, whereas the others terminate in USB-A. It's got this nice felt speaker cover design, big O buttons, Microsoft Team, basically the same buttons on the controller for the headset. Pop it in your USB-C port. It's gonna auto install the drivers. Okay, so this is a microphone test using the noise canceling USB-C speaker microphone. I'm gonna actually like rotate it. So now I am technically behind the microphone, and now I am beside the microphone, and now I'm on the other side of the microphone. And now I'm back in front of it. I assume it has an array of mics of some sort for the noise canceling and for making this work, but there you go. And then we're gonna try to play some music through it. I was very compressed through Spotify though. That was max volume. It doesn't get insanely loud, but for a video calling speaker, it's probably okay. Let's play a video.
Okay, so this is a microphone test using the noise canceling USB-C.
That microphone quality on the speaker is terrible. The headset beats it by a mile, just to be clear. Oh boy.
It can pass through 1440p, 144 Hz, and capture 1440p 60, and even capture 1080p in 120 frames per second over USB. This is the first non-Magewell USB option that we've had since the live game.
Makes my voice sound good. It's got some fullness to the sound, a little bit of a crinkly distortion at max volume, but it's probably better than your monitor's built-in speakers or your laptop's built-in speakers, depending on your laptop. Not better than this one's, well, depending on your needs. Actually, let's play it through this laptop speakers. I haven't tested them that well, or I haven't tested them for music. Okay, if you're blasting metal music, maybe it's probably better than your laptop speakers, but I definitely wouldn't buy this expecting it to be a quality speaker, which is kind of disappointing on every front here for $100. You're clearly paying for the functionality of it being this kind of conference style microphone speakerphone at the same time, and especially the headset and this having the Teams buttons built in. These products are designed for those of you working from home and using Teams specifically regularly to call back and forth with your fellow employees or your employees or what have you. So in the Accessory Center, you do get options for the headset and the speaker as well, which appears to just be volume limits basically, and then a push to talk option as well for the headset. For the speaker, we're looking at the same thing. So nothing too crazy, but one combined place to control the software instead of trying to fiddle through the 3 different versions of sound settings in Windows. Could be worse. I'm gonna say no if you're doing just regular like broadcast desktop streaming. These are probably not to go with, and frankly the webcam could be beat by the $40 Tinvis one we looked at an AFK chat episode a while back, linked below. But if you are just looking to get some gear from a brand name you trust for work from home stuff, especially if you rely on Teams, I'd say you could spend your money in worse ways. You could definitely spend your money in better ways, but if you don't wanna try to pick and choose and fine tune your configuration, I might consider these. Yeah, I'm gonna say it's a no for me for like most of the normal streamer audience though. Product links as always will be in the description below. If you learned something, hit the like button, subscribe, and join us on Discord, discord.gg/EposVox. Remember, be kind, rewind.